Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, the 14B District Court is now back in session. The court will call the case of Bill Properties LLC versus Paulisha Weaver, case number 25Z1680.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Gabriel Lacey, P79685 for Bill Properties LLC, here accompanied by the owner of the property, Mr. Dabra.
Thank you. Mr. Muhammad Dahabra, please unmute your device and state your name.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Please state your name, sir.
Mohammed Dahabra.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Bauer.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jill Bauer here on behalf of Ms. Weaver, who is also present. I'm here from Legal Services and my P number is 69260. And Mr. Campbell is also present and is going to try to assist me remotely.
Thank you. Ms. Paulisha Weaver, please unmute your device and state your name.
Paulisha Weaver.
Thank you. All right. We're here for a non-jury trial this afternoon based on the posture of the parties. I presume that we have not worked this out.
That's
All right. Do we want to have opening statements? You may proceed with your opening statement, Ms. Lacey.
Thank you, Your Honor. The only issue that is left, as Sister Counsel stated in this case, is the issue of the damages and the maintenance to the property. And here, I believe that the issue before the court that we would like for the court to decide is whether or not the tenant in possession should be held financially responsible for damages to the premises that exceed reasonable wear and tear, and whether or not the landlord can recover the cost of those repairs necessary to remedy city-sided or township-sided violations caused by the tenant's damage or neglect. Of course, our position is yes to both of those. The defendant has been a tenant at the property and is a recipient of housing assistance that pays, I believe, all of her rent at this point. However, for the defendant to maintain the assistance that she gets for her rent, the home that she resides in must pass inspection. And there was a recent inspection that was done back in, well, it's not recent anymore, back in February of 2024. And the property did fail. There were some corrections and violations that needed to be done. And for the tenant to continue to receive aid, those things needed to be fixed. And my client took it upon himself to fix them. It's our position that due to the defendant's negligence and lack of maintaining the property while residing there, that's what caused the extreme damages that caused the violations. And thus, while my client was a good landlord and fixed the problems, he is looking to be reimbursed for those costs. And that is what we plan to present today.
Thank you. All right. And then for the record, you are waiving your opening statement at this time and we'll present it later, Ms. Bauer, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call the property owner, Mr. Dabra.
Hello again.
Hello, Mr. Dahabra. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed, sir. Ms. Lacey.
Thank you. Mr. Dahabra, are you familiar? Well, what is your occupation?
I'm the owner of the Lexington Parkway property.
And as the property owner of that property, are you familiar with the upkeep and maintenance of the property?
Absolutely. My contract with Beal Properties is that my company is the Harbor Enterprises is responsible for the maintenance of all my properties.
And are you familiar with the tenant that resides at Lexington Parkway?
Yes, I am very familiar with this tenant.
Do want to, and I think the court will notice, but I think that we do have some of the same exhibits. And plaintiff's exhibit A is the inspection done by the township, and I'm gonna see if I can.
For the record, Your Honor, we've stipulated to the admission of this exhibit.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, we have.
That's the stipulation in order to waive objection to the authenticity of the Ypsilanti Township record inspection.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is pretty illegible, so I hope everybody has their own copy of this to read. But this is the city inspection report. And Mr. DeHabra, are you familiar with this inspection report?
Yes, I am.
And
Ms. Lacy,
yes,
can you put 3 dots that are at the top of this page and try to make it bigger, please?
yes. Your Honor.
Right hand side.
Your Honor, I also provided a hard copy. It's Exhibit H.
I'm aware.
Okay, thank you.
3 dots on the top of my.
Yeah, you're good. You've made it bigger already. It's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of scroll as Mr. DeHabra goes through. Mr. DeHabra, were you present during this inspection?
I was not present during that inspection.
And when did you receive the inspection report?
I usually get this from Beal Properties within a day or 2.
You're showing something else now. Okay, there we go.
I'm trying to figure out how to move it, Your Honor, without changing the whole page, but I guess that's how it's gonna work. Oh man. Kind of like I'm looking for that scroll button and I can't.
Right hand side, that right hand side scroll button doesn't work right there.
Yeah, I thought this was it, but it keeps changing the page.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm used to being the scroll button.
Did you try the?
There you go. If you do the pan on the left, I think that will work. The panning on the, maybe no.
How about using the air?
There we go. Okay. This'll work.
Okay.
We'll all learn together. So the first violation on this form, it states that there was a hazard. Do you recall, or did you provide the, well, maybe I should have you read it. There was an ordinance violation.
Correct. If I may, I could review it real quick because I'm very familiar with all those items. I believe some of the smoke detectors were either removed or the batteries were removed. So we were to make sure that all smoke detectors in each of the bedrooms and in the hallways and in the kitchen to be operational. So we had to repair that. We had to either put barriers in or replace those smoke detectors. The second line item, I think this is for us about providing insurance, and we did that for the house. The third one is about a mechanical inspection. We did that for the furnace. Obviously, all of those are landlord responsibility. The one says PM 304.115 doors, almost halfway through the form. It says fixed front storm door. The front storm door, the latch will not work, and the harm bar attached is broken, swing open. So the latch that holds the the screen door was busted basically, and it's not. This is tenant negligence in our opinion. We have fixed that before, as a matter of fact, and it just it keeps happening. So we had to fix that one. The carbon monoxide was missing. We had to replace it. Now, keep in mind this unit did pass inspections the year before, which means we had the carbon monoxide and we had all the smoke detectors the year before when Mrs. Weaver was renting there already. Rodents. This is the big one. Supply a receipt for rodent extermination. The township requested that we needed to hire a third party to do the pest extermination. We have 2 invoices from Griffin's Pest Solution for that, and those were added to the tenant's account. And they also they
I'm sorry,
requested
what was added to the tenant's account?
the 2 invoices for the pest extermination company that we had to provide the invoices, the paid invoices to the township.
Okay.
Those were, I think, $143. One of them was $143, and the other one, I believe it was 234. 234 and 147. I'm sorry. 234 plus 147. The township required us to remove all loose trash in the rear and the front yard, including branches, to avoid providing habitat for the rodents. Seal opening on side vents in the driveway. We did that. Those were not charged to the tenant. Seal openings in kitchen under the cupboard at the plumbing to not allow access. We did that. We did not charge the tenant for that, by the way. Seal openings on the side driveway, we talked about that. Large opening and broken metal seal allows access to rodents. We did
Your
that.
Honor, if I could just interrupt for a moment, I don't object to the plaintiff going over the report, but I object to the commentary. So if he could just limit it to letting the court know the contents of the report, and then
I don't need him to read the contents of the report to me. I can read that myself.
I think he's confirming that the citations were cured, Your Honor, and letting the court know that he did that.
I think the report speaks for itself as to that. I think they have to be cured in
Okay.
order for them to do the inspection. The part that she's objecting to is the part that I actually want to know about. What he charged for what? This trial is about what's in dispute. And so I don't need to have a regurgitation of everything that was an issue. No, exactly what the parties are disputing and why.
Okay. Then
And that's not you, Mr. DeHabra. That's on the attorneys. You
That's
don't
on
have
me.
to at this time. Your attorneys need to.
So, Your Honor, I would like to draw the court's attention. Can you close my door? I'd
So,
like to draw the court's
First of all,
attention.
are you moving to admit Exhibit A is admitted because you guys stipulated?
Exhibit A is admitted. I'm going to move on to plaintiff's proposed Exhibit B,
Okay.
which I have on the screen.
Okay.
And this is Mr. DeHabra. Do you have a copy of the township inspection related damages report?
yes,
That is on this. And who prepared this report?
I did.
And if you could go through these line items and explain why you charged them to the tenant's account.
Sure.
Your Honor, I would just object to this item to the extent that it has hearsay on line 8.
All right, I'm
We
going
can-
to strike the as agreed with tenant and strike that part. It can just be to replace. No.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Okay, Mr. DeHabra, if you could go through lines 1 through 7.
Yes. If I may, Your Honor.
May.
Is that- Okay. Hauling away old furniture, mattresses, and junk stored in the garage. I have multiple pictures of that. If you'd like me to show, I could do that.
Yeah, I'd like to see the pictures. And this is, when you say stored in the garage, you're indicating that Ms. Weaver was storing those things in the garage?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, thank you.
I hope I can share now. Disabled. You cannot share screen while other participants are
Oh, are
sharing.
you ready to share?
Oh,
I can.
I'm good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Unless the pictures, are those the pictures right there, or are there better pictures?
Yes, yeah, yes.
If your pictures are
Mine
colored
are
and
colored though. Mine are colored. If I could
okay,
share.
then I'm going to stop sharing, Your Honor, and allow him to share plaintiff's proposed exhibit I. Mr. DeHabra, can you see the screen that I am sharing?
Yes, I can.
And are you familiar with these pictures?
Yes, this is the inside of the two-car garage in the back of the property.
And did you take these pictures?
Yes, I did.
And can you identify this picture?
Yes, this is the driveway that takes us to the back of the property, and this is with the same garage. I think after we have moved most of the stuff out, some of the bicycles is still there.
Okay, this is after you've removed most of the items.
And I think another guy came in and he took the bicycles out for metal scrap. I think what they've done, they've taken the stuff that they can just dump and the stuff they can recycle.
And is there any particular reason why you found it necessary to remove these items?
It was required by the township to clean all garbage on the front side and the back and the garage of the property, because this is what most likely is causing the rodent problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. So those pictures identified and taken by my client are plaintiff's exhibit I. If you want, I can go back to it, and I move to admit them into
No
evidence.
objection. No objection.
Those, it's 3 pictures, correct?
That is, I think I have 4 in there.
Okay,
Must have missed one. I'll go back.
I've only been shown 3.
Okay, that may be. Oh, there's the 4th. I'm sorry. You got them? Can you email? Oh, okay.
Is that the one that you're talking about?
if we do have the color now, I would much prefer it because it's very green and I can't distinguish between what's.
I am checking now. I don't see any. All right, so again, Mr. DeHabra, if you could explain, do you see my mouse hovering over one of the pictures? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I see.
Can you explain what we are looking at here?
This is basically a whole bunch of personal belongings of the tenant, mostly furniture, mattresses, toys for the kids, bicycles, chairs.
And where is this location?
This is inside the garage.
And this picture to the right of that picture, is this also in the same location?
Yes, correct. Very similar pictures, yeah.
And this is the other black and white that we had seen. Could you also give a quick, brief description of this area?
Correct. This is the driveway that's leading to the garage in the back of the property, showing some of the remaining stuff that we want to recycle. And some of the stuff actually that we took out, and we did, like some of the toys we brought back, we put them back in.
And then,
Yeah, more pictures of the inside of the garage. The one on, yeah, both of them are taken from the inside of the garage, looking outward.
I believe that's all that I had that for my plaintiff exhibit I.
Thank you. It is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And why, again, for the record, did you feel the need to clean out the garage and surrounding area? You're muted. You're muted.
I understand why he did that. My question is, just so everybody knows where my mindset is, maybe the expedite things, is that you talked to her about the items you were going to be discarding before removing them.
You're still muted, Mr. Muhammad.
I'm so sorry about that. Yes, I was gonna say I did discuss this with the tenant. And I showed her the report. She was well aware of what needed to be done, and I did inform her that she can either do it herself or we can do this on her behalf, and she agreed that we will do this on her behalf.
Line number 2 on the screen that I am sharing, yard work not performed by the tenant. Could you give a description of the yard work and why the labor cost is $130?
Most of this is we had to rake all the leaves from the previous year, from the previous fall, and we had to basically cut the grass as well, to make the whole area look nice and clean before the reinspection.
And this, in moving on to number 3, I think it's pretty self-explanatory why you needed to, well, that you had to replace those from the report. But could you explain why the cost and labor cost?
Sure. We had to replace 3 of the smoke detectors. Those are $18 each, and we charged half an hour to install all 3 of them.
And you stated that the home passed inspection the prior year.
That is correct.
So is it your testimony today that the prior year, the home had working smoke detectors and a working carbon monoxide?
That is correct.
And who was the tenant in the prior year?
It was Mrs. Weaver.
And for line 4, is it basically the same explanation for line 3 with the cost of the carbon monoxide detector being a different cost?
That is correct.
And then moving on to line 5, you state you replaced the damaged thermostat. Could you go into that?
Yes, one of the buttons on the thermostat was basically missing. And I believe we have a picture of that. Hopefully I'll be able to show it if needed. But so we had to replace the thermostat, and we charged $42 for the thermostat and half an hour to replace it.
And when you say thermostat, could you describe what type of thermostat?
We have heating and cooling in this unit. So this is the thermostat that will allow you to turn it either to heat, cool, or off. And I think one of those buttons the top buttons was missing.
So it's a common household thermostat that would be on the wall.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And number 6, you replaced damaged dryer vent and elbow. Could you explain that?
Yes, the dryer vent was basically stepped on somehow, or maybe an object fell on it, but it was bent and it could not be reused, and so we had to replace it.
And could you explain the cost associated with that?
Yes, it's $38 for the material and half an hour to install it.
And you also have on line 7, replace broken screen door stopper.
Correct. So we had to replace the stopper again, and then we charged half an hour for that as well.
And we'll have further testimony regarding the stove, but you did replace the stove.
That's correct.
And if you could just explain the cost on that.
Yes. In the inspection says, I think 2 of the burners or 3 out of the 5 burners. I'm sorry, either 2 or 3 of the 5 burners were not working. The igniters themselves were not functioning correctly due to excessive grease on them. Unfortunately, Mrs. Weaver was not cleaning. That's my assumption. Was not cleaning.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to lack of personal knowledge.
He did say it was just his assumption. He
That's
didn't.
why it's my assumption is lack of proper maintenance of the and cleaning of that
Mr.
oven
Dahaba?
made those.
Mr. Dahaba,
Yes, I'm sorry.
sir, please stop talking when an objection is made. I have to make a
Yeah.
rule on that before you can continue.
I'm so sorry.
So, Miss Lacy, your response means that it's speculation. So it means that he doesn't have personal knowledge and he's speculating as to what happened. If he has some testimony that he wants to provide me regarding something he visually saw, that's one thing, but he can't just speculate as to why they stopped working. That objection is sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
So,
you.
Mr. Dahaba, when you went in to replace the stove, did you observe the stove that you were removing?
I did.
Could you describe how the stove that you were removing appeared?
It had excessive grease on the top of the stove. It was and the igniters were not working because
Did you try the igniters, Mr. Dahaba?
I did try the igniters. I think 3 out of the 5 were not working. Mrs. Weaver was using a long igniter, a long lighter for that she showed me. That's how she was doing it. I gave Mrs. Weaver the option that I could because it did not make financial sense to try to replace those igniters. It probably would cost more to repair the stove than to replace it. So I've offered that I will pay for half of the cost or most of the cost and the delivery and the removing of the old one. I will only charge her. I said $400 then, I think between 4 and 5. That's what I told her. And then I believe she said, yeah, no problem. Let's just replace it and charge her $370 for it.
So is it how much did the stove that you replaced cost?
About $800.
And did you charge the tenant for any labor hours regarding that?
I did not charge her for the delivery or removing of the old stove.
I have another question regarding the stove before we move on. Well, I have a different question. Is Miss Weaver still in the premises?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know who you wanted to answer that, but yes, she is.
Anybody? Okay, thank you. All right. And is she gonna remain there or what is the situation?
Yes, Your Honor. She's going to remain there.
All right, thank you. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Dahaba, can have Plaintiff's Exhibit D on the screen. It's a Griffin Pest Solutions invoice.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would just object to relevancy since we've limited the maintenance charges that are in dispute to the items on the spreadsheet, and there's nothing about rodent charges or pest charges on that spreadsheet.
I don't recall. If I may, I don't recall limiting the charges to only what is on the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet was a quick way to focus on the maintenance charges that did not have third-party invoices.
Your Honor, then I just, for the record, want to make a record that my understanding is that after several discussions, is that we were just that we were only in dispute on the items on the spreadsheet.
So this must be one of the $234 invoices from the rodent extermination.
That is correct.
And so, Ms. Bauer, are you indicating that your client is willing to pay that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so
I'm just saying I wasn't prepared to defend against these charges. Because my understanding was that we were only dealing with the spreadsheet charges.
you need time to look at this.
I just wanted to make a record, Your Honor. I don't want to hold things up.
All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Why did you call Griffin Pest Solutions to the property?
The inspection report required a third-party invoice. So basically, we were not able to do our own treatment, so we had to hire Griffins or any other pest solution company. So,
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm going to object to the authentication of this. There's no record custodian for it.
This is a normal course of business document. If someone hires a pest control company, they receive a service slip invoice. It is straight from the company, and it was a service. It operates as a receipt, as if my client were to put into evidence of the receipt for the stove, per se. It
Your
operates
Honor,
as a receipt.
Your Honor, this is a invoice for Beal Properties, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Mr. DeHabra is not Beal Properties. And he's also not a representative of the pest control company, so this isn't a business record for his business.
All right, thank you. With respect to it being a business record, it does not have to be a business record for his business. The rule regarding a business record is that it's a record kept in the normal course of business. It's a record that is kept by Griffin Pest Solutions for their business, and it was provided to Beal Properties, who is a representative of Mr. DeHabra. So therefore, it is a business record, and I will allow it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You could see where my hand is. On this invoice, there's a section that says work location. Can you read the address where the work location of this invoice derived from?
is this to me?
It's to you, Mr. DeHabra.
Yes, it's 1111 Lexington Parkway, Ypsilanti, Michigan 48198. This is the property in discussion that Mrs. Weaver resides at.
And I'm not sure if you answered, maybe I might have zoned out. Did you answer why you called the third? I understand that the report required you to call a third party, but did the report explain why you needed to call a pest control?
Yeah, I believe the report mentioned that this is on the bottom of the first page. Need to supply a receipt for rodent extermination. And when I believe Pest Solution recommended 2 different trips, and that's why we have 2 different invoices.
And Mr. DeHabra, is it normal for you to do maintenance on your properties yourself, or do you usually hire a third-party company?
Most of the work that we do is ourselves, but if it is required, for instance, for an inspection for the furnace, we are required to bring in a third party to do the inspection of the HVAC system. So we have hired that to do that, obviously. When it is required by the inspection, especially when it comes to pest control, for some reason, most townships, they want to see a third party, a professional company. That's what they do for a living, basically. For stuff like this, we will hire third parties.
No further questions, Your Honor. I would like to call, I'm sorry, redirect, I'm sorry. or cross Ms. Bauer. Sorry.
Exactly, Ms.
Okay.
Bauer.
Thank you. Mr. DeHabra, have you ever testified in a trial like this before?
I'm not sure if if it was a trial or not, but I have been in this same courtroom before I moved my properties into an LLC with the same tenant and the same judge, as a matter of fact. So yes, I have had experience being in the courtroom with
Okay.
tenant landlord cases.
I just wanted to take a second to make sure that we understand. I'm going to do what's called cross-examine you now.
Sure.
And sometimes when I ask people questions in cross-examination, they want to give extra information to my question. But I would ask you to just answer my question. And if you have extra information, your attorney will have a chance to do follow-up with you, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Are you the sole owner of your business that you mentioned at the beginning of your testimony?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am.
Okay. And you have employees?
I do.
Okay. And how many employees do you have?
I have one permanent employee and I have others that I bring in on an as-needed basis.
Okay. And what condition was the property in when Miss Weaver moved in?
It was in very, very good condition.
Okay. Isn't it true that she reported several issues that needed to be repaired very soon after she moved in?
She moved in a couple years ago.
Objection, Your Honor, relevancy.
What's the,
Your Honor, it's our position that there are repairs that were left untended to by the landlord that have to do with the things that Miss Weaver is being charged for now?
I find that is relevant. The objection is overruled.
Isn't it true that Miss Weaver reported issues with doors being off track or not able to shut properly when she moved in?
That's vague. Are we talking about the same door? Because she charged for a screen door. It's not just all doors. We want to.
Okay, fair enough, Your Honor. Sorry about that. Isn't it true that she reported an issue with the screen door, the latch on, or the harm bar, I think it's been called, on the screen door, the screws being stripped on that and it not shutting properly?
When she moved in, you're saying?
Yes.
Absolutely not. When she moved in, the screen door was in operational condition.
Okay.
Or if it was, we would have fixed it.
And isn't it true that when she moved in, the several of the eyes on the stove were already not working?
I don't believe that's the case.
And it was a used stove when she moved in, right?
It was a stove that was, yes, that was already in the property, but it was cleaned before the move-in.
But it was used, right?
The stove, yes, it was it came with the property and it was not a brand new unit. That is correct. I don't believe it was a brand new unit.
Do you have any idea how old the stove was when she moved in?
I'm sorry, I cannot recall.
Okay. And isn't it true that the garage side door would not close properly when she moved in?
I don't believe when she moved in, that was not closed properly. It was included in the inspection report, and we did repair it. And as a matter of fact, I opted not to charge her for that.
So this is kind of what I was talking about. I just want you to answer my question. So
Okay.
at the time that she moved in, was there a problem with the side door in the garage?
It was not. There was no problem with the side door when she moved in.
Okay. And what about holes under the sink and in the kitchen that were allowing the rats to come in? Did she report those issues within a reasonable time of moving in?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Those were report. Okay, I'm not gonna say anymore.
Okay. I want to ask you about the inspection report. can you show me where in the inspection report that it said that the garage had to be emptied out completely?
I don't think it specified that it had to be emptied out completely. It was not emptied out completely. As I mentioned, we take it out. We took most of the stuff out. We junked out the stuff that the tenant didn't want to use anymore, or there were like the mattresses. We did get permission of her of what we take. We cleaned up the garage and we put back the toys, as a matter of fact, in there back in.
So as you were emptying out the garage, were you in communication with Miss Weaver throughout that time about what could and could not be removed?
Before the trucks were moved, before we loaded up the trucks, we showed her what we were going to take and what we were going to leave, and that's exactly what we did. And we were trying to do whatever was required to make sure that no rodents lives there.
And how many times throughout that time did you communicate with her about what you were going to take?
I cannot recall how many times, but she was well aware of what we were taking out, and she did not have any problems with that.
Now, the things that she had inside the garage, they did not prevent the front door of the garage from closing, correct?
I don't believe there was any problems with the front door of the garage.
Okay. And is there anywhere in the lease that says that she's not allowed to store items inside of the garage?
She can store items inside the garage, and they're required to maintain sanitation for the garage and the whole house.
Is there any ordinance that says that that you're aware of, that says that people can't store items in a garage?
People can store items in the garage, absolutely.
Okay. And I think you already said this, but I just want to clarify. The picture that showed the stuff spread out across the driveway, that was taken after you all pulled those things out of the garage, correct?
Let's go back to the picture because I had questions about that too.
Okay. Who's going to share it?
I believe that Ms. Lacey's working on that as we
Okay.
speak.
I just wanted clarification. Thank you. Yeah, those items were not in the driveway when you arrived that morning, correct?
Those were taken, I think most of them, they may have had one or two, I can't remember. They were outside, but most of those were taken from the garage.
Okay. And there was no comment in the inspection report that said that there was debris specifically from the driveway that needed to be removed, correct?
Says remove all loose trash in rear and front yard, including branches, to avoid providing habitat for rodents.
Okay. Now, Ms. Weaver would you agree that she was very pregnant on the day that this happened?
I cannot recall that.
Okay. So you said that you took everything but some toys. Is that right?
No, I didn't say we took everything but toys. I said some of the toys that we removed that Mrs. Weaver wanted to keep, we put back into the garage.
And that was actually just one Barbie Jeep, battery operated Barbie Jeep.
I think there was more than one item, but I don't remember what type of toys there were. Most of them were plastic toys, if I remember correctly.
And she wanted the bicycles back, but you told her that you couldn't get them back, correct?
That is not correct. I don't believe that was the case.
Okay. Now, you said that things had to be removed because they might be providing shelter for rodents, correct?
That's what I said, and that's what the That's what the inspection report mentioned.
Well, to be fair, the inspection report never said that the garage had to be emptied out, correct? It just said that the garage side door had to be repaired to stop the rodents from having access to the garage, correct?
There were mattresses, old mattresses, and old furniture, and garbage, and leaf bags from probably a couple years ago that needed to be removed. We came in to clean up the. to
Okay,
clean it.
sir.
Okay, I'll stop.
Okay,
I'll stop.
okay.
I'll stop.
So would it be fair today to say that a bicycle is not going to provide shelter for a rodent in a garage?
A bicycle or two, probably not, or even three, probably not. That's
Okay.
correct.
How about lawnmowers? Would those provide shelter for a rodent?
Lawnmowers will not provide shelter for rodent.
Objection, Your Honor. My client is not a pest control specialist or technician, and I don't think he's qualified to testify as to what could and could not provide shelter for rodents. I have significant knowledge in this area, and he's not answering accurately. So I would just like to put on the record, he's not a specialist. He's not a pest control technician, and he does not have specific knowledge of this area of expertise.
And Your Honor, my response would be that I think the questions that I'm asking can be answered with common sense. And he represented to Ms. Weaver that these things needed to be removed because they would provide shelter to a rodent. And I think it's fair for us to dig into that.
May I say something?
Not yet.
No,
Okay.
So, I will agree that he is not an expert at this. However, he made decisions that day based on his knowledge and information as to whether items should stay or leave, because it may provide, shelter for a rodent is the reason why he's indicating he made those decisions. So, and, the bottom line is, Ms. Bauer, you can continue down this line of questioning, but the reality is I don't think that he's trying to say any one item is what caused the ability to have rodent harborage. It's a combination of things, but understanding that, I'm going to allow him to answer, Ms. Lacy.
Okay.
thank you, Your Honor.
And a toddler's Barbie Jeep. Do you think is that something that would provide shelter for a rodent?
A clean one, probably not. It. I'm sorry. I have no answer to that.
Okay. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I just need to make a note.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. How often do you come over to 1111 Lexington?
Only when I'm required to be there, when
Okay.
maintenance is needed.
Is there a process for setting up a time to visit the property?
I usually email Mrs. Weaver.
Okay, and what's your standard content of those emails when you email her to set up a visit to the property?
I will inform her of the situation and what needs to be done and when we would like to stop by and ensure that it is okay with them, that it works for her.
Okay, and you always email her ahead of time before you come to the property?
I always email her ahead of time before I go to the property.
Okay. And how much notice do you give her when you plan to come to the property?
Usually at least a day, unless it's in some instances, like if it's a safety issue, they usually the inspectors would like us to do a 24-hour thing, like for instance, for smoke detectors or carbon monoxide, we usually have to do it within 24 hours. So we will make sure that it's done within that time.
Okay. Is that home currently for sale?
It is not.
And would you agree that Miss Weaver has more than 3 months left on her lease?
To be honest with you, I am not sure what is her lease situation. I usually don't get involved in those kind of things.
Okay. Do you agree that the lease says that you have to give 72 hours of written notice before you can enter the property to do repairs?
Objection, your, well, I'll leave the answer. I'm going to object, Your Honor. He did say he's not too aware of what the lease says in his last answer. He usually doesn't get involved in that.
May I say something or no?
Not yet. Any
Okay.
response? You said, Howard?
Your Honor, I would just argue that as a party to the lease, he should be familiar with the content of the lease and what the obligations of the owner are.
I agree with that. It is his lease, right?
It's Bill Properties lease,
It's be a problem.
and it's signed by a Bill representative.
Interesting. All right, well, I'm gonna tell you this, Ms. Lacy, your client won't be picking and choosing as to which parts of the lease he's familiar with and which parts he's not. So if he's not gonna testify about this part, then he can't testify about any parts of the lease if you ever need that today.
He can testify if he knows the answer, like he did with the last question. He said he wasn't familiar with that part. So, Mr. DeHaber, if you're familiar with notice as far as when you're arriving at the property, please answer the council's question.
Okay, I'll tell you my understanding. And if we are to enter for non-maintenance reason, just to look at the property for any reason, then yes, 72 hours is required. My understanding that if it is a non-emergency maintenance reason, then a 24-hour is required. If it is an emergency reason, then immediate entry is required. That's my understanding.
Okay. So isn't it true that you recently visited the property when Miss Weaver was home to do some repairs?
Could you be more specific? What kind of?
Within the last 2 weeks, have you been to the property when Miss Weaver was home within the last 2 weeks?
Objection, Your Honor. This case is about repair costs that date back to March of 2024, not within the last 2 weeks. And we don't have repair costs on our judgment that we've proposed to the court from repairs within the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to object to this line of questioning as it's not relevant, and I didn't ask questions about the last 2 weeks of my witness.
Well, she's not restricted to asking about the last 2 weeks, but I do want to understand the relevance of this.
Your Honor, we believe that there are certain things that have happened that may entitle Miss Weaver to an offset for some of the charges that are being claimed against her. And so that I was exploring that issue.
Well, you believe that something that happened in the 2 weeks may allow her to get an offset?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I didn't get a counterclaim with the filing.
Well, it's not a counterclaim so much as a defense.
A defense that happened in the last 2 weeks for something we're asking for from March of 2024.
It's part of an ongoing disregard for Miss Weaver's privacy and for following the terms of the lease.
I see counsel in the breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're back on the record in the case of Beal Properties versus Public Weaver. Ms. Lacy, you had a chance to speak with your client.
Yes, I have, Your Honor. And while my client's description of the situation is extremely different than Sister Counsel's, I do believe at this time, if Sister Counsel is allowed to bring that offset argument, and I only do this because I don't know what other word to use. This what Sister Counsel is using, offset. I would like a brief adjournment so that I can call the township inspector and have him testify as to what he told my client on that day.
Response, Ms. Brewer?
Your Honor, given the time, I don't have an objection to an adjournment. If I could just be provided with the contact information for whoever you planning to call as a witness so that I could talk to them as well.
Most definitely.
And I do apologize for the way that this unrolled today. It wasn't my intention.
I understand. The other thing that I'd like to have happen is, and I think that not only was your opposing counsel caught off guard, but maybe you are a little off guard too as to whether or not there is a cause of action for an invasion of privacy that would provide any offset, and the court needs to have some further information as to any potential cause of action regarding that as well. So I think it gives us all a better opportunity to try to figure out whether or not this is an avenue that even deems further exploration, I guess is the best way to put that. And so
I agree with that, Your Honor.
okay, I will adjourn this so that we can do those two things. You can contact your witnesses, Ms. Lacy, and both parties can look into the issue of invasion of privacy as a offset. And then the court obviously would be looking at the credibility of the witnesses with respect to each of those concerns. The challenge is going to be finding another time to do this hearing. I guess, given the fact that Ms. Weaver is still in the premises and isn't expected to leave for at least another 3 months, it's not as crucial that we move as fast as I would need to move on some other matters, because we're really dealing with the damage issue and what that is eventually going to be. So let me find out from my recorder any availability. I don't obviously foresee any more in this month, so I'll be looking at next month for that. Does 2:45 on September 18th work for everybody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Works for me, Judge.
I'm fine as well.
Ms. Lacy's not. I can tell by the look on her face.
Well, actually, I'm supposed to be in a training that afternoon, but I was giving the court, but that's not the best day for me either.
Ms.
I
Lacy,
got an in-person, I got a jury selection and trial that day.
okay. All right. Wow.
I wanted to try to make it work, Your Honor. I was like, who else could do jury trial?
Yeah. Oh, I see. You're gonna let that because you already started this, so you're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
What about that October 2nd date? What is the last one we have scheduled? All right. How about October 2nd at 3:00 that day?
I am wide open on that day.
I am too.
Works for me, Judge.
October 2nd, 3 p.m.
Correct.
I'm okay with that as well, I believe.
All right. October 2nd at 3 p.m. We'll continue the trial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
Ms. Barrow, I'll be in touch because I don't have his name yet. My client's going to get it to me and we'll talk.
Okay, sounds good.
Have a nice day, Your Honor.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day, counsel. Take care.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Bye.